All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, you see it on the screen. I'm sure you saw it in the thumbnail. We got purple yellow Croc, Lakers Croc, Straw Hat Edition. Okay, I don't know if anyone's messed with this or not yet. I mean, we'll have to see. Maybe you guys have. Maybe someone in the comment sections messed with this or had the idea. But hey, OP08.5 just got released in the East, so we still got like 3 months left before we even see it over here in the West. With that in mind, spoiler warning number one, and number two, yes, I will be covering every single starter deck. I've had a lot of people ask me about it. Guys, of course I'm going to cover it. It's like free content for me as a content creator. Of course I'm going to cover them, but you got to be patient with me. I want to wait till at least OP08 releases for us over here in the West, because guys, that's, like I said, we've got like 3.5 months away till we see 3 to 3.5 months away before we even see the new starter decks. So as we get closer to that date, maybe right before OP08 releases, I will start to work on some videos for the new starter deck leaders. I definitely plan on doing it. Just be patient with me, okay, guys? Because like I said, I've had a lot of people ask me about it. Of course I'm going to do it, guys. Of course. Just be patient. Now, back to what we were saying. Today's video is a purple-yellow Croc list running the new ST18 starter deck. What are they called? Straw Hat Crew cards. Okay, sorry, there's a lot of information in there. So let's go ahead and dive into this. Let me tell you what you're getting into. First things first, we're going to go over to the lab. We're gonna check out a game. A little bit of a blast from the past here. Blue-black Saka versus green-blue Zonji. Okay, the lab, for those who are not aware, is a community-submitted video. We're going to analyze that, break it down, and have fun with that. After that, we're going to head over to the One Piece website, and we are going to take a look at ST18 because we're using quite a few new cards in there for today's sim games. All right, from there we'll go over to the sim games. I've got 5 games lined up for us for purple yellow Straw Hat Croc, whatever you want to call this now, Lakers Straw Hat Croc. We'll have to come up with a decent name for it, guys, if this does end up being a decent deck. So we'll head over to the sim, check out 5 games, then we will analyze the deck, we'll break it down, I'll show you the deck list, and I'll tell you my final thoughts on it, and we'll wrap up the video with an art critique. Okay, you know what you're getting into. I'll have everything time-stamped down in the general description. I'll have every relevant link in the comment section below with all the deck lists and stuff like that. Okay, guys? Let's get into it. And, of course, if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please do not hesitate to put them down in the comment section below. I try to answer every single message that, people post. I'm sure I miss some every now and then, but I try to be very diligent about that. I try to stay on that, okay? All right, here we go, guys. First things first, we're over in the lab. Let me take off this leader slide. There we go. So for those who are not aware, at the beginning of every video now, I do something called the VV Lab. And in that part of the video, what I do is I review a community submitted video. So if you're interested in having your videos, reviewed for free, and notice how it is, guys, no one will know your name. No one knows this is their video, right? If you're interested, check out at the bottom right of the screen over here where it says the VV. I don't know if y'all can't really see my mouse because of the overlay. But you see where it says the VV Theory. You want me to review your gameplay? Hop on the Discord. Here's all you have to do, guys. Record your game using recording software, OBS. It's free software to record your game. So record your game, upload it to YouTube. All this is free, by the way. All of this is free. And then once you upload it to YouTube, you will hop on the Discord and send the link under the Review My Games tab that I have on Discord, and I'll put a thumbs up emoji saying I got it as soon as I get it, okay? It's free. It's just a service I'm offering to the community completely for free. All right? Okay, let's do it. So, here we go. The volume is off. The speed is on 2x. The quality is up. We're good to go, guys. So, here we go. This is going to be Blue-Black Sakazuki versus Green-Blue Zonji. Now, of course, currently Blue-Black Sakazuki is banned in the West and the East. However, I don't mind reviewing anything y'all send me, guys. I don't care if it's old-school content, content coming out from the East, like, spoiler-type stuff for us in the West. Doesn't matter to me. Okay, so let's see. Sakazuki's got to go first. It looks like they are going to get a Tashigi to start off. They have 2 options. It's Great Eruption or Hound Blaze. They go with the Hound Blaze. I do get that. I do understand that because they have some cost reduction in hand already. Then they're going to use their leader effect, cycle out a Hina, get that in the trash for later for Rebecca, and they get a Sabo for it. They got a Sabo or a Borsalina, I can't remember. All right, and now it is turn 1 for the Zoro and Sanji deck. Now, I will say this. I do think Zoro and Sanji has actually a decent matchup in a Sakazuki. Now, as usual, I have no idea who wins these guys. I don't pre-watch these. So, you know, whoever wins, we're going to find out together. Okay, swinging for 8 to get their, you know, let's see. They have to select a target. They haven't selected a target yet. Sorry, guys. That's what we're waiting on. They probably think like, hey, why hasn't my opponent chosen anything? It's like you have, there we go. They finally canceled. Okay, and they took it. Now hear me out, guys. I actually like swinging for 5 there. So in other words, 5 on Tashigi, 5 on the leader. So attach 3 on to Tashigi. Let them attack that if they want to. Who cares, right? Because you can still remove whatever you need to. And that could get 2 cards out of hand or a card from life and a card out of hand. It ends up just being a little better than swinging all in for 8. And now they're just like, okay, I'll take a card, right? But that's okay. It's not like a play mistake. It's just a different option you could have done, because I will say, you know, tapping down to Shigi means now they have a free target. I get all of that. I totally understand. However, I personally think it's a little bit, I think it's a slightly better idea to swing for the 2 attacks, where it's like, okay, what if he just decides to take both? Well, now he's down to 2 life if you were trying to for sure get a life way. Or what happens if he counters out of both? Now he's down 2 cards in hand. Right? And I'll take either of those options. You know what I mean? And then the worst case scenario, quote unquote, would be him taking a life and then countering out of 1. Hey, it still would have gotten a card out of hand. You know what I mean? It still would have been a slightly better play, at least in my personal opinion. Okay, now back to the game. Let's see what they decide to do. Did we cycle with the leader? I don't know if we cycled with the leader last turn. We might have missed that, or maybe I missed it. Hang on one second, guys. I do want to go back. Okay, so right here. I got to go to the very beginning of this turn, guys. I do apologize. Okay, so we get a card for the turn. And then we are going to load up. Let me make sure we're on 2 XP. We are. So they're going to load up here, swing for 8. And I don't think we used the leader effect this turn. Okay, so that was a slight mistake. I do realize you have good cards in your hand, but I still think trashing the Helmeppo here, cycling with your leader effect, would have been a better play personally. Okay, wow, so this is a very interesting version of Zonji, of Zoro and Zonji. They're playing out the new Margaret card. That is a 3-cost, like 1K, was a 3-cost, 3-cost 2K blocker, no counter, but it has on-play draw a card. And notice they did not choose to bring it back. They're just going to take the hit, you know, they're just going to leave it on the board and let them remove it with something like a Hound Blaze. And they do know we have a Hound Blaze because we revealed it in the search. Okay, playing out the Helmeppo here, very interesting. Yeah, go ahead and buff the, whoops. Okay, so you have to, so for those who are not aware, the way that Hound Blaze works is you have to choose your character first to get a plus 3,000 buff, or a leader or character gets plus 3,000 for the turn. And then you can place a character on the bottom. And the way that the computer works is it checks, it goes in that order, and if you don't choose your character, then it will just go straight to the second option, and you don't get to do the second effect. Got to be careful for that, but that was no one's fault. That's just like a computer glitch sequencing type of issue. And again, that's like no one's fault. Okay, so it looks like they're talking a little bit. I think he's just telling his opponent, like, hey, I just messed up there. I was supposed to buff my guy, so there's one attack that's not going to go through. So they go ahead. Hang on one second. Sorry, guys, I had to fast forward there. So they're going to play out the Tashigi for the turn, and they're going to draw a card from that. It looks like brand new is what they're hovering over. They grab a T-Bone. I like the T-Bone better because counters are going to be very, very important here, guys. For those who are not aware, if Zoro and Sanji can stick a character, they are going to come across the field for about 3 7K attacks a turn. But that's if they can stick one character. Guess what? Blue-Black Sakazuki, it is not easy to do that. It's not easy to stick a character against like Lucci or Blue-Black Sakazuki. It's actually very, very difficult. Okay, so let's see what happens next. So now it is the Zonji player's turn. They are on 6 Dawn. This is why a lot of people like Zonji with the 7 Warlords package. Okay, and this guy is using the 7 Warlords. That's a good sign, but you really need Jinbei in this situation. He's going to swing for 7, pulling back the card to his hand. I don't think he should have done that. I think you have to just chance it. I think you have to just say, hey, if you have removal, go ahead and use it on this guy, because I'm going to play another guy next turn and another guy next turn. At least force the Sakazuki to have the removal. And he does have it, by the way. He does have the removal, but notice he doesn't have the cost reduction. But what I was going to say was, is force him to have what he needs in hand, okay? And then he will have to dedicate Dawn to removing your guy, otherwise, look, he was able to develop a body now. He's going to be able to swing for 5. He's going to use leader effect. He got a Hina, and then he's going to be able to swing for 5 with his leader and 5 with one of his characters. Okay, it looks like he's going to load up on his leader again. Okay, no, he's starting to change. We'll swing for 7 and leave 1 Dawn active. Interesting. So what are we trying to buff here? I guess that's my question. So swing for 7. They'll probably give it 2k, 1k. That's fine. Or they'll take it. That works too. So we're bluffing 1 Dawn. I don't quite understand that. I got to pause it for a second because I'm actually confused here. Why aren't we just swinging like 5 and 6? So understand there are different times to swing for different numbers, right? If we swing for 5 and for 6, which is what we could have done here, right? Because Helmeppo is a 3k, correct? Yes, Helmeppo is a 3k. So what we could have done here was swing 5, swing 6. That takes 2 cards out of his hand. Otherwise, it's like, okay, you're just going to swing for 7. I know for a fact they can counter out if they want to, but instead, look what they choose to do. They're like, okay, I'll actually just take that. I'm going to take that so I get more answers in my hand to try and deal with this board. They might be trying to search for a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger or something like that. It's not necessarily a play mistake, especially if you're just constantly trying to take, 1 life a turn. But at the same time, I would rather rip cards from their hand. That is always the way that I play it. Okay, this is the craziest Zoro and Zonji deck I think I've ever seen. Where it's like, okay, they've got a film package in here. They've got some Edward Weevil 7 Warlords of the Sea package in here. I don't know what is going on. We got some spicy, crazy shenanigans going on here. Okay, they're going to block for... Okay, interesting. So they decided to block with Borsalino and counter out for 2k. Hey, it works. They got the job done. That was just funny. Because they could have just did a 2k to get out of the 6, right, with their leader. Not that it matters. That didn't have any actual pull on the game. Okay, so what do we do in this situation, guys? What are we supposed to do here? We still have some removal in hand. Okay, what's going to happen here? They play out the Hina, and then they're going to play out the T-Bone. So we are really getting rid of cards from our hand right now. Okay, I would have probably trashed the Suru instead of the Tashigi, but maybe they want that back from if they have Gecko Moria in the list. Swing for 5. All right, let's see what happens here. I do like removing that character, but notice we only have 1 card left in hand. This is a pretty good position for this guy on the top, the Zonji player to be in. And again, I don't know who wins this game. We'll have to see what happens. Okay, so let's see what happens now. It's going to be a 10 Dawn turn for the green-blue Zonji player. Let's see what they choose to do, because this is a full board. And I think it is time to start kind of popping off, but at the same time, they need to get a blocker down. Rush Usopp. Okay, this is the spiciest list I've ever seen, guys. This is pure spice going on here. Uh-oh, so that was a mistake. Pretty sure that was a mistake, playing out the Draco Mihawk, because they could have done Draco Mihawk into the Edward Weevil if they'd played it first. Then they could have played the Usopp. I'm like 99% sure that was a play mistake. Blocking there was also a play mistake, in my opinion. So what I would do here is I would attack into the Borsalino, because there's no way this guy can win the game this turn. Okay, guys, so there are blunders happening left and right, I have to say. There are things going on left and right here. We got to bust out the chess meter. Blocking with Borsalino was not necessarily a play mistake, but let me say what was. Playing out Dracula Mihawk was an absolute play mistake. There's no way around it. This should not have happened. Unless they wanted to do it first, when they could have gotten a card from it, like the Edward Weevil. Then they could have bounced it back to hand, got the second attack off. Everything is getting messed up for this green-blue Zonji player. And the fact that you blocked... The fact that he only swung for 6... is like an enigma to me. Like, that is a true puzzle. Why would you only attack for 5 when there is a 6k blocker on the field when you have extra Dawn for the turn? And then attaching a Dawn to, like, this guy's an 8k. You can't even stand him up now. You know what I mean? It's like, ooh, this is just a nightmare situation for this poor guy up top. But let's see what happens. They're going to swing for 8. Of course, we can't get out of this one. Oh, and that's what I was going to say, too. Okay, you're going to swing for 8 if you're the Zonji player, right? The Zonji player swings for 8 here. Why would you not attack into the Borsalino? Because there's no way to protect it, because we only have 1 card in hand. 8 and 6, there is no 1 card in the game currently, that doesn't require Dawn, that can save you from that. So big, big mistakes going on here, unfortunately. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see what happens. Of course, they have to take it. Okay, swing for 7, and now they're going to bounce back the Mihawk. Swinging 7 into the Borsalino, that's fine. Standing up the Usopp, probably swinging for 5 more here. But honestly, yeah, then 5 more to face, of course, and I don't think I'd counter. I would probably just take this one and go down to 1. Okay, go down. That's fine, too, because we are going to have a very strong Gecko Moria play next turn. But I guess what I'm... Okay, so one thing you have to really focus on is how can I lose next turn? And I guess technically if they have an Usopp, you could potentially lose next turn. But these 2 cards on the board are going to be dead, right? They are not surviving. They are going to get KO'd in one way or another. Whether you'd done it with Gecko Moria or playing out Sabo next turn to fix your hand and smash everything into these characters, they weren't going to survive, and you'd have a blocker for the next turn with 1 life left. But in this situation, we did see they have an Usopp, so that is a concern where they can get multiple attacks in one turn. We'll have to see what happens, though. I forgot where I was going with that, guys. I do apologize. But, hey, I would be using my Helmeppos here. I'd be using my Hina, using my T-Bone. I would swing 5, 5, 5, 5. I would swing 4 5s into this board, and then I'd play out the Gecko Moria. But, again, it might be a little bit too late. We'll have to see what happens. Because the Gecko Moria will be able to pop one of them, and is he going to be able to save these with nothing but 5k attacks? Guys, I have it on. I'm going to have to fast forward here. This player's taking a little bit of extra time. Okay. Hang on one second. They're about to play out Gecko Moria, and let's see what they do. Yeah, it's going to be grab back the... So we didn't attack for... Okay, so a lot of... Okay, bear with me. So what I would have done in this situation, knowing now I can see your trash, because I couldn't see the trash before either. I think this is a pretty easy play for the most part. Great Eruption first to -2 to the power of one of these guys, or to the cost of one of these guys, right? From there, see, this is why Helmeppo not being in the trash is very unfortunate, because otherwise we could remove both with Rob Lucci. But okay, Great Eruption, I would have -2 to one of these guys, probably the Sanji, to be honest. Then, from there, you can play out the Gecko Moria. You can fix your hand first with the Sakazuki if you need to, and you should be able to swing 5 into one of these guys. I would actually swing 5 into... Hear me out. Very technical line of play I'm about to tell you. I would swing 5 into the character that we hit with Great Eruption. So that way, they're like, okay, I'm not going to save that because he's going to pop it anyway and do -1 to the other character. Then we could play out the Gecko, playing out the Rob Lucci and Suru to -2 to the Usopp in this case, and we could pop it that way. And then we can go about the game just like this, where they have no cards on the board, and we're going to be able to win next turn. However, let's see what's chosen. Looks like they want to give a blocker. Okay. This is a very, very passive play going into an extremely aggressive deck. Okay, they are going to at least be able to search up a 2k counter. We do like to see that. I'd grab the T-Bone. Yeah, Suru and T-Bone are about the same in this situation, cost reduction versus KO. And we have cost reduction built into our leader. I would take the KO for sure. Okay, so they were arranging the bottom of their deck there. All right, so we did not get rid of any characters. We're going to -2 there. And we have 1 Dawn left. If I'm the green, blue, Zoro, and Sanji player, you're not getting a single one of my characters right here. I can promise you that. 5 into 5, I'm countering out. 5 into 5, I'm countering out. 5 into 5, I'm countering out. Let's see what they choose to do, though. Because they have 7 cards in hand. Yeah, there's a 2k counter for the first one. Okay. Should be another 2k counter. That's correct. Whoever this guy is playing it exactly correct. Swinging there, -1 there as well. Don't forget to click. You got to, whenever you attack with Sakazuki, guys, it'll make you select a target to cost. Fast forwarding, because they didn't know that. Okay, -1 there. Very good. And now let's see what they do. And they countered out. It looks like they countered out. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I have been having to fast forward into these. Did they counter out? Oh, yeah, they countered out with another one of those cards up there. All right, here we go. It is the other player's turn. And this is 100% confirmed lethal, pretty much no matter what, right? Because in this situation, we can swing for 7, 7, 7, 9, right? There's pretty much no way out of this. And that's like the minimum we can swing with. We can actually probably go 2 on Usopp, 1 on Sanji, or 2 on Sanji probably, because I'm not sure about how his will be. Okay, instead they played this card out. So this is a play mistake, right? This is actually a play mistake because there's calculatable lethal on the board with our opponent only having 2 cards in hand, especially after we swing 7 with the first hit. Okay, well, either way, I guess they're powering up. What is this 5? What, guys? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to get emotional or anything like that. I'm not trying to like overreact, but this is a play mistake. This is strictly, at least swing 6. Even that would have been a play mistake. But playing all these cards out, this is just a blunder. There is no other way around this. Because we have lethal, right? I'm talking about the green blue Zoro Sanji player, by the way, guys. He has lethal on the board. You can literally go 2, goes into 7, and then if he counters out, then you could eat up his entire board. Okay? If he counters out, he'll have no cards in hand. You go 5 there, 2 there, with all your 3 attacks that you'd have left for the turn with this effect. Then you can actually go wide with your board and, like, you know, have something for the following turn. But there's no way in the world that I would not swing for lethal here. You see what I'm saying? Like, I would actually just swing for lethal with Sanji, Usopp, because you can actually... All right, hear me out. In this situation, what you could do is you could swing for 7 with Usopp. Whatever happens there, that, you know, we would have had to take it, by the way, because we only had 2K in hand. That would either get the blocker or go to face. Now you can swing for 7 or whatever Zonji is. I would only swing for 7 though if I could help it. And then you can pull back the Usopp to hand, okay, with the leader's effect, standing up the Zonji, and now we have 3 more attacks because we play out the Usopp again, and now Sanji's going to be massive from having Dawn tapped. Do you guys see what I'm saying? So realistically, I haven't done the exact math, but it should have been something like 7, 7, 7, 6, I think would be left, and 9. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been absolutely insane, and pretty much no way to survive. They pull back the Usopp. That was correct, but now you can't play it out because you played out the Edward Weevil. You know what I mean? I'm so confused, and you threw a 2K counter on the board. So I think they just threw the game. That might be game right there. Yep, I'd take that. Sure. Yeah, it's like, hey, thanks, man. I appreciate you letting me win this one. Hey, but that happens, right? Some people... It takes years of TCG experience to get really good at TCGs, and then each deck you play, there are so many intricacies and nuances and stuff. I play a lot of Zonji. I've probably played well over 100 games of Zonji at this point, and I actually really like this person's list. I've never seen the film plus 7 Warlords combo. I think this list is really good, and I think they played a really good game. However, they kind of messed up with some of those, you know, with some of the things they did. Now, right here, yeah, hang on. Why are we playing out the Borsellino? Okay, so we have lethal as well now. Okay, so this has been, let me bring up the chess meter. So we have had 2 instances now of missed wins. Now, they might still win because of how much they have on the board. But guys, this is 2 instances of missed wins. We don't have to Borsellino anything. We can just load everything up and swing 7, 7, 7, 7, 9. And you can't survive. You know, it's just impossible. You know what I mean? It's just actually impossible mathematically. But here we go. We're going to play out the Borsellino here. Sorry, guys, I did miss that. They're going to bottom deck a card. Sure. Yep, let him do that. Okay. And he bottom decked a card that was already rested. So, hey, you can attack into that card if you're trying to get the board. You know what I mean? So always go for the ones that are tapped. Okay, this guy is saying some stuff over in the text. I can't say they're kind of jeering at him a little bit, kind of poking at him. But that's okay. You know, that's just that's how it goes sometimes, right? Trash talking is part of games. Is part of the game. So right here, we have 4 different attacks, and we can go 6s across the board. We can go, 3 6s and a 5, or a 5 and 3 6s, I guess I should say. Or we could sit on the blocker and just do the 3 6s. I like that. Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens. If I'm this guy, I would not have countered out of that one. I think I would have taken that one. Coming in for 6. All right, let's see what happens. Yep. Hey, I can't say this guy doesn't deserve losing on the top. I'm sorry, I don't know who this person is, but you played out a 2K counter Zonji that would have just won you this game. Like, you have to understand that you played out a card that would have won you the game because your opponent, the Sakazuki player, also blundered in this way as well. You know what I mean? And you didn't need to play out that Zonji. You could have replayed out the Usopp and swung 5. I'm about to break down the math on that turn in just a second, guys. Y'all give me just a second. Swing for 6. Let's see if we got the counter. Come on, 2K. If he has a 2K. If he has a 2K, there's no way he survives, right? Okay, 2K. Now swing 5. Does he have a 1K counter? Does he have it? No, he does not. Okay, so that, guys, we got to go back. There were multiple missed wins, I feel like, in this game we have to talk about. Number 1, I think, was it this turn? Yeah, I think it was this turn where we could have actually just blown our opponent out of the water right here. We don't need the Gecko Moria, but we can still play it. But the first thing I would do is Great Eruption to see what we draw for the turn, and then we can also cycle with our leader before we make any commitment. We've only made a 1 Dawn commitment at that point. And that 1 Dawn commitment would have been fine because we can actually use the Great Eruption cost reduction to KO both of these characters. Okay, what do I mean? -2 to, let's just say, they're both 4 cost characters. So -2 to one of them, now they're in Lucci range, right? With a Great Eruption. Then we can swing 5 into face, -1 to the other one. Then we can play out, I gotta fast forward a little bit. Then we can play out the Gecko Moria, pulling back the Rob Lucci and the Suru. Choose the Suru first to give -2 to the guy that had -1 on him. Now we pop both with Lucci, and we can just continue beating into our opponent's face. That was that might have just won the game, by the way, or taken so many cards out of hand that they couldn't do anything the following turn. But instead, we let them have these cards. Okay, they completely saved their board, and now the player on the top blunders. The largest blunder of the game is this turn right here, because this is confirmed lethal pretty much. Because hear me out. So with 10 Dawn, let's just attach 2 Dawn to everybody, right? So we've got 4 Dawn left to work with. So what we could do in this situation, actually at that point, I probably would make one of them a 6. So bear with me, hear me out. So I would make the Zonji into a 6, and what I would do here, I might even make hang on. It's hard to do the math on it. Just bear with me. So what I would do here is attach 2 Dawn to the Zonji. He will only be a 7 because his Dawn times 1 effect only works for how many tapped Dawn you have. So we'll be able to stand him up, right? You see what I'm saying? We will be able to stand him back up at the end of the turn. So swing for 7 with Zonji at face, not board, at face. Then we swing for, I would swing for 6 with Usopp. Swing for 6 with Usopp, they can 2K counter out of that. Now, we use our leader, swing for 7 at the leader, pulling back the Usopp, standing up to Zonji. Okay? And then we can swing in with the Zonji from there. You see what I'm saying? Again, and it just gets really crazy at that point. And from there, like I said, once we get to that point, we can replay the Usopp and attach our final Dawn to him, and our Zonji will now be swinging for oodles, right? Just huge, huge numbers. If I'm off on the math, guys, y'all tell me in the comment section below, but I don't want to break it down in the middle of this video. We're already 25 minutes deep into it. Let's keep moving on. Good game. Great submission there. That was a very educational, submission there. I really appreciate that, guys. I really love this segment. But let's keep going. I can't spend too much time on this because we do have other things to talk about. Okay, let me black out the screen for a second. There we go. And move my camera over. And then we can move on to some of these new cards coming out from ST18. All right. There we go. Oh, got to take this off. There we go. All right, man, that was a great game. That was a fun one. Okay, so here we go. This is the new ST18 starter deck. This is what's coming in it. This is not the Gear 5 Luffy that time warps. This is a promo Luffy that is a 10 cost, 12k, 1000 counter vanilla card. I've had to clarify that before. That's why I mentioned it. Now, I'm not going to go through this whole thing. I'll have an entire video dedicated to going through this entire thing, but there are 3 cards we need to look at for today's video. Number 1 is Sangoru. This is just Zonji, right? 5 cost, 6000 power, 1k counter, Straw Hat Crew. Effect, when attacking, once per turn, if you have 8 or more Dawn, draw 1 card. Okay, very powerful. Then we've got Zoro. This is just like the other one, the 3 cost one, I think. 4 cost, 6000 power, Straw Hat Crew type. Effect is on play. Look at 5 cards from the top of your deck. Reveal up to 1 purple Straw Hat Crew type card and add it to your hand. Then place the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. It can even grab Zoro. Okay? Like, it's not restricted where it can't grab whatever type is searching or whatever name is searching for it, which is really nice. But it does have to be a purple Straw Hat Crew card. And then last but not least, we've got Luffy Taru, or Teru, however you say that. 7 cost, 8000 power, Straw Hat character, of course. Effect is on play, Dawn -1. Play up to 1 purple Straw Hat type character card with a cost of 5 or less from your hand. So you'll be able to cheat out either one of these cards that we just looked at, the Zoro or the Zonji. Really, really powerful, and we are going to be exploiting that. Not like exploiting in a bad way, but we are going to be taking advantage of that in the games we're about to look at on the sim. Okay, so that's it for that part. I just wanted to show you these 3 cards, and now we are hopping straight into these sim games, guys. First game up here is Crocodile versus Dragon. Okay, let me go ahead and move my face over. Go maximize it a little bit there, and there we go. Now, let me make sure the volume is off, speed is on 2x, we're good to go. Straw Hat Crocodile versus Dragon. Let's check this game out, guys. I was very impressed with how this deck was functioning. I'm not, it's just sim practice, guys. I understand these aren't the best players. These aren't even the best decks we're going against. But this should at least give you an idea of what you think about it. Like, maybe you think this leader's like or maybe you'll think what I'm doing here is onto something, or maybe it's like, nah, I don't think that's that good. So right here, I didn't have any early plays. And that is something the deck can be improved on, and we will look at that as we go over the, as we get to that point in the video. I probably need a little bit more bottom-end cards. Okay, so right here, they're going to swing for 5, and then they're going to attach 2 over to the Bellow Betty and attach the final 1 Dawn and swing for 5 again. That is through the leader's effect, Dragon the leader's effect. Very strong. Swing for 5. I'll take this one. Got a Gum Jet Gatling. The trigger literally allows you to ramp a Dawn. So we'll attack into the Bellow Betty. I'm not in any rush to win this game. In fact, I actually want to go later into the game where I can start playing my 8, 9, and, my big characters. My 8 cost and 9 cost characters. Okay, play out Sangoru. Let's see what they do. or excuse me, I swung for 5 into the Bell Betty, and then I have to pass. So next turn, I will be on, wait, let me see something. I'm only on 5 Dawn right now, so I won't be able to draw a card next turn from the Zonji, but that's okay. I've got a body on the board now. I can start battling for the board. He only swings for 5. I'm very happy about that. And now he's going to attach the 2 Dawn to the Chaka, which will allow him to attach 2 Dawn to his leader, and he's going to swing for 7. That Chaka, quite good. Really solid in Dragon. Really good stuff going on here. He's getting so much extra Dawn per turn getting set up like this. So I go ahead and grab a 2K counter with the new Zoro. That allowed me to, to actually get something there with a 2K counter to replace it with. And now I've got a 4-call 6K on the board. 7 into 3. He's not countering out of that. I'll swing 7 at face. And now it's my opponent's turn. And next turn, I should be on 9 Dawn. So I'll be able to start drawing cards with my Zonji. I'll be able to gain life with my Yamato. I can start really going crazy next turn, like with all these cards. But I have to counter out very aggressively this turn and stay at 1 life or better. At least that's my game plan, right? I want to stay at 1 life so I can get 1 life back with the Yamato while popping their board. And I want to completely 2K counter out and 3K counter out if I have to save whatever I have on the board to also allow me to start drawing cards with the Zonji. Okay, so we're just waiting on my opponent. We're on 2x speed, guys. We're just waiting on them to make up their mind. I think they're on a 8 Dawn turn. Yeah, because we're about to be on a 9 Dawn turn. So they're on, excuse me, no, I ramped a Dawn. So they're on their 7 Dawn turn. So they're going to Gordon -3 there. It looks like they're going to pop my Zoro. Yep, they're going to pop Zoro with that. So that was interesting. I would have popped the Zonji. That would have been my #1 order of business there. I think that would have been the better play for sure. Because the Zonji has a win attacking effect. I get an O come my way, so I'm going to be able to, draw 2 cards from that. O come my way, guys. The new event from EB01 is insanely good. It is so good. So I just got to draw 2 extra cards from that. I'm down to 1. They only have 5. They only have 4 life, and I have 1, so I can only pop a 5 or less. But that's okay. I'm going to swing for 5. And now I'm up to 9 Dawn. So by the way, Oh Come My Way is a Dawn -1 trigger, draw 2. But with this leader, it's free. Because I get the Dawn right back active. Okay, and that is something we'll have to work on later as we improve the list. Okay, so swing 6 there. My hand is stacked. And guess what? Red doesn't have any way to attack the hand. It has no hand destruction yet. At least not the time you're recording this video. So here we go. Let's see what they decide to do here. I'm feeling pretty good at this point. Like I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then technically 3K more. I've got a 13K counter in hand with 2 life and a way to gain life next turn. So I'm feeling extremely comfortable right now. Right, you see, I'm with my mouse, I'm showing like, hey, he should attack into my guy right here. It's his best bet, or I'm just going to start running away with this game. Okay, sure, I'll take that. No problem. Take that one, because I'm going to gain a life next turn anyway. Or actually, excuse me, I counter out here. That's right, I forgot. I do counter out here because I had so many cards in hand. That's right, I forgot about that. So Chaka, he is going to attach 2. I think you can just attach 2 to your guy, right? Okay, yep, that's fine. You can do it in that way if you want to. Swings for 11, I take that one. And notice what I got in my hand, guys. I've got Crocodile. That card gains a life as well. So now it's time to attack into the board. We're going to swing 7 into 7. See if he wants to give me a card because I draw a card. And now I still can play out some cards from my hand. So, okay. So now it's like, all right. So 7 didn't work. Let's go 9 into 7. I think I go 9 into 7 here. I could be wrong. I'm not sure what I do. I think swinging 9 into 7 is the correct play for sure. So 9 into 7. Let's see if he has a 2K, 1K he wants to give me. He does. He has a 2K and does he just let... No, I was going to say there's no way. Okay, so now he's down to 3 cards in hand. So right here, I swing 6 into face. And then I'm just going to use out my Crocodile, gaining a life, going down 2 Dawn, but that's fine. I get to gain a life from that effect, and now my board is completely menacing. And I still have a ton of counter power in hand. So I don't feel like I'm at any jeopardy of losing this game. And now he is in jeopardy of losing the game next turn. Okay, Zoro's not going to do it. Let's see. So right here, what he should have done, yeah, attached to that. Now he can move 2 Rested Dawn to the Zoro. I think he does. No, he did it. He did it correctly. So now it's going to be swing for 7. Okay, he distributes all of his Dawn. So swings for 8 first. I'm obviously going to just... so that was the Crocodile character effect where I was able to cycle. Right here, I think it's just... I take it because I see what he's trying to do. He swings for 8 here. Okay, 2-2. I give him 2 2K counters there. Swings for 8. What he should have done there, it wouldn't have mattered, is he should have actually attached 2 Dawn over to him with the leader effect. and then I would have taken that one, and I would have countered out of this 8K. So he did mess up, and watch, he shows the Dawn move over here. Watch this. Watch, yeah, see, he messed that up there, but it didn't matter because I would have changed everything to counter out of what I needed to. So swing for 9, swing for 9. This should be game right here. Okay, technically I should have swung for 7 first, but there was no way for him to survive. It was never going to happen. Okay, so that was the first game, showing some promise, right? So showing some promise here. Weathering the storm on a very aggressive rush deck like that, that is always a good sign for the first game. Speed 2x. All right, we're good to go. So now we got a game against Linlin. This is just 5 life yellow Linlin, which was pretty interesting. I will say this was an interesting game if I remember correctly. So they're going to swing it for 5. I don't want to go down too low this early. So right here, I'm going to swing for 6. Now, there's an argument, Pauls, there's an argument to play out the Miss Wednesday there because she ramps on the next attack and she's a blocker and she pretty much ramps every turn unless they can get rid of her. However, I like Zoro Juro as well because he's a little more aggressive and he will also ramp and force them to attack into that, and I can still sit on the blocker for later. That was an either-or type of situation, but looking back, I think Miss Wednesday would have probably been a little bit better. Okay, swinging in for 5. I decided to take that. I probably could have countered out of that, to be honest. That would have probably been the better call. They soul focus me. I choose to trash the life. I'm not going to give them life. So right here, I think I'm going to swing for 6 because I'm going to use a 5 Dawn turn here for the Zonji. And I'm feeling pretty good now. The game of the blocker, I've got full board control. I've got a way to gain draw cards on the board. Okay, they only have 6 Dawn here. I was really considering saving that card, so I go ahead and trash top life card. Unfortunately, from the 7 cost effect. Unfortunately, it was no come my way. There was a legitimate, how do I say this? There was a good play there where I actually counter out my 2K counter, to be honest. So that way I could swing all out this turn. I think it would have been fine. Because he replaces himself if you attach 1 Dawn to him with his effect. Okay, so swing for 6, draw a card, swing for 5. I go ahead and play out the Yamato. I'm back up to 2 life. They play that card. I'm going to trash 2 cards in this situation because I got 2 really good cards to trash for him. And now it's like, okay, it's your turn. 8 into 6. He has an 8K. He has another 8K coming in here. It's like, you know what? Let me go ahead and counter out of this. It'll force him to attack into it again, and then I can make my decision from there. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to fully counter out. Like, I really considered it because it's like, and I do it because it's like, you know what? He's going to draw a card this turn. And I can go 10 into 8. Let's see if he gives me anything. Okay. Now we can go 7 into face, draw a card with his effect. He gets a Zonji. Excuse me. So I go ahead and swing for 7 there. And then I play out a blocker. And I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good about this game right here. So let's see what they do. Linlin would not be great, but I should be okay against Linlin. I even choose to lose life against that. That was a little risky. I'm not gonna lie. That was pretty risky. What I was saying was like, hey, I've got a 2K counter because I took that. It was like, okay, you want to trash a life or let them gain a life? Trash life instantly. Like I instantly did that. Like I was preparing for it because I was actually preparing for a big mom attack here, right? And in that situation, I did get very lucky there getting the 2K counter, but it didn't matter. You see what I'm saying? So in other words, if they did play out Linlin and they trash my top life card, it doesn't matter. As long as I get at least a 1K counter, I knew I was going to be fine. At least that's what I was thinking in my mind. So get a 2K counter here, and then they're going to swing in for 7. I'm going to block and give him another 2K counter. Or actually, I don't have to because he swung to 6. Now he's dead meat, right? Now there's no way. Swing for 7, and look at his hand. Look at that hand, guys. If this game had gone on any longer, like, I had no chance, right? Like, if he would have been able to start chaining Linlins, it's just over. So sometimes against any deck that's running yellow, especially Big Mom Pirate side, whether it be purple yellow pudding, yellow Linlin, get black yellow Linlin, Katakuri, whatever, sometimes it's good to just keep your foot on the gas and just try to go for it. Because I'm telling you, if they can start comfortably chaining together Linlins, it's pretty much over, right? There's pretty much no way out of it. Okay, next game. All right, here we go. We got a game against Nami. So if you're wondering how this deck does against Nami, you're about to see. And guys, we flood the board. So yeah, it's not bad. We flood the board with like 6,000 power characters. Play out this guy, grabbing a 2K counter Zonji. That doesn't really matter. Okay, next turn. Let's just do it again. Just keep the 6Ks coming. Just keep these 6K characters coming. We're gonna go ahead and adjust everything here. This might be. I'll say it afterwards. I don't play anything, guys. I'm not playing out a single, or I'm not attacking with anything right now. Play out that Luffy, get this card. Now I just need one more card, pass, And notice they're just keeping all their Dawn active. I'm like, okay, play out this Zonji. Your turn. Next turn is going to be fireworks, buddy. Next turn is going to be fireworks. Swing for 7. It's going to be a bunch of 7s here, guys. A bunch of 7s. All right. Here we go. They're having to burn like 3 and 4 cards at a time here. You know, all right. So that there. Swing for... Okay, that was a snake dance. I'm going to swing for 8. I'm swinging for 8. I'm going to swing for 9. That's the situation we're in currently. Like, this board right here is very hard to deal with. Now, they were able to get out that last attack. That's fine. Because guess what? Next turn, I'm doing the exact same thing. The exact same thing. So right here, it's going to be 7s. I should be attacking with the Zonji first. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Swing for 7. We're getting extra cards. They do a Desert Spada and a Love Beam to get out of that. They drew into another Love Beam from that Desert Spada Love Beam combo. I swing for 9. He's got 4 cards in hand. I'm swinging in there. You're at 1 life, and you've got 20 cards. All right, your turn. You have 20 cards in your deck, and at 1 life, and I have this on the board. It's gonna take a miracle. It's gonna take a literal miracle at this point for him to survive this game. So right here, we're just gonna go 7s, just straight 7s across the board and 9s. So 9 here just to get like one of his last big cards out. He tried to draw to it. It didn't help him. 13, no way. GG. I still have a 5 and a 6 after that. Okay, that was a fun one. What I was going to say is that might have been the fastest Nami game ever. Because I was like, I'm not going to attack you. And he did not see his early Kayas. Obviously, he didn't see early Kaya or else we'd have seen it. But hey, they don't always see it when they need it. You know, it happens. But it wouldn't have changed my game plan, right? I'm just going to flood the board and say go. And now, if they had fully tapped out a turn earlier, then of course I would start attacking into their life. But I don't need to if they're just going to keep all their Dawn active. Okay, Gecko Moria. Now we got two games left, and these are a little more meta matchups. We got Gecko Moria and then Red Purple Law. So these are at least decent like testimonies on how the deck works and how it performs or what potential it might have. Okay, 6 into 5. This is pretty early, and I don't have a 2K in hand, so I'm like, oh man, that stinks. And they play out a Hogback, which I thought was really weird because they did have a Perona in their trash. I was like, what? You know, hey, okay, sure. Because I was planning on trashing a Katakuri right there. So I go ahead and take it. I'm going to swing for 5. Let's see what they do here. They're going to take it as well. I'm going to play out Zoro. I'm going to grab a 2K counter, set those cards to the bottom of my deck in the order that I want. And now I've got 2K counters. I'm feeling pretty good. I've got 3 life still. I'm feeling just fine. I am feeling just fine right here. That now they play out the Perona. I think I go ahead and trash a Katakuri. Or the other Zoro. That makes sense as well at this point. I'd rather keep the Katakuri for life gain or dealing with Gecko Moria. They swing in. I give him 1K counter. So Miss Wednesday's not great in this matchup because they do have removal. I'm going to swing 5 into 5 and then 6 into 5 if he saves it. Or 7, excuse me, because I only need 5 Dawn for this turn. Play out the Zonji. Your turn, sir. It is your turn. I've got 2K counters in hand, and then I'm about to have a crazy top-end game for him. It's going to be 8 drop after 8 drop after 8 drop. Okay, 6 into 6. I'm like, okay, I really would like to save this. Let's see what he does here. And I'm counting up his Dawn. He's got 6 Dawn left. He's used all these 2K counters so far. He did prone. I trash an 8-cost Katakuri, and I do save this card here. I'm basically telling him, like, hey, you're going to have to give me more if you want this card to get KO'd. So then he decides to go 5 at life and then 6. I'm like, okay. I go ahead and take this in case he does load up and swing 6 at my guy. I knew it. I had a feeling he was going to do that. A little bit of observation hockey there for you. Now it's my turn to take this board back. I'm going to go 5. I'm going to go 6 and draw a card from this. I go 6 at face because I'm going to go 6 in here. Oh, that's right. I'm like, yeah, please load up on the Sindri again. I don't care if you do it or not. Okay. Now I'm just waiting on him to make a decision. I only had 8 Dawn. If I had 9 Dawn, it would have been an easy Yamato there. But I go ahead and play out this guy. He hits me with Isho, which really was not great. I used the effect there from him, or from the 8 cost Crocodile, cycling cars, use a 1K counter there. And now we're in the situation where it's like, okay, I'm going to go 5 into 5, see if he gives me cards. I'm going to swing here, drawing a card, really, really nice. And now I'm going to swing 6 into life. Now I'm going to swing 9 into life. And I'm getting him down to next turn lethal. Now I just have to survive next turn, right? Like, that's all that I have to do. So I play out the Katakuri here, and I give myself a 1K counter back into my life that I can just, you know, use defensively if I need to. Now, Oh Come My Way does cost 1 Dawn, right? You see how it costs 1 Dawn? No problem. Remember what our leader effect does. Our leader effect When they attack into me, if they do not remove my Crocodile character first, I'm going to use his effect to return a Dawn back to my deck, which will allow my leader effect to bring the Dawn back into play active, and then I'll be able to use it. So that's what's going to happen here, guys. Okay, he attaches one. I'm like, uh-oh, he's gonna remove my Crocodile before I get the chance to do what I want. But luckily, you know, he does this in the wrong order. He KOs my Zoro first. That was a play mistake. That was a play mistake, KOing the Zoro first. He could have done that at any time in the game. It wouldn't have mattered, or any time in this turn. But now he's going to use his when attacking effect from Gecko Moria to get rid of my, what's his name? Gosh, my Crocodile. But that doesn't matter, right? Like, that's actually, now it's too late. I will get to use his when attacking before the on-play table resolves from the Absalom. So this is going to be a very technical play here, guys. Pay close attention. -5 to my Crocodile. He's going to swing for 7. Two things are going to happen here simultaneously. The when attacking effect of the Gecko Moria and the when opponent attacks effect of the 8-cost Crocodile. Okay? First, the when attacking will happen first. That's what's on the stack first. That, you know, it's not technically a stack in this game, but that is the first thing on the table that will resolve. Okay? And what is he going to choose? He chooses the Gecko Moria. Now, that is going to open another table for an on-play effect after the when attacking and the when opponent attacks resolves. So I am going to get the chance to use my Crocodile here. This is a very technical ruling. I get to draw a card, trash a card with that effect, and stand my Dawn up with my leader's effect. Now he can return. Now everything's been resolved there on that front. The attack is still pending, and he can do the on-play effect from his character. And he pops my Crocodile. I go ahead and counter out of this fully because I know the 10K is coming in, and we're feeling pretty good. There's no way he survives now, right? Swing 9, and then it's going to be swing 14. Okay, GG. He didn't even have enough to get out of the 9. His hand was a little bit bricked up. I think he could have probably played that a little bit better, of course, but hey, this is just random sim players. It is what it is. All right, last game. This is probably the best one, guys. This is versus Red Purple Law. This was a pretty competent player. This was a very good game. Let me go to speed 2x, and we're good to go. Okay, guys, when after this game, I was feeling like, man, this deck might be onto something, and it is not revised. I'll show you the list after this game. It still needs a lot of work. It needs revisions. It needs some help. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, swinging 5 into 5. This is just, you know, the way to go early on because I want to play out my 3-cost guy. And hey, if they can remove this card, which they absolutely should if they can, I'm going to let them do it, right? It's just going to slow them down. Okay, they're going to play out a pudding, though, so swing 6. Of course, I'm going to take this to turn on the Zoro Juro just in case. I didn't want to use the O Come My Way this early. I'd rather use that to save myself later in the game if possible. I don't need to draw cards right now is my thought process. He plays out a Khalifa, so this is a slightly different version from normal. I'm going to swing 5 into 5 here, ramp a Dawn, and then I'm going to swing 5 again with my leader and just slam Zoro down. Or not Zoro, what's his name? Zonji. I believe I'm going to slam down a Zonji here. Maybe not. Maybe I play out the 4 call. No, yeah. I agree with like the higher Dawn play. At the same time, it would not have been a bad call to play out the 4 cost. Now, I did forget to swing there. Hang on. So, play mistake. I forgot to attack with my leader. One thing I was going to say is that another better play might have been to just swing 6 with my leader and then play out the Zoro, and then I at least have another 1K in hand. But I would like to start drawing cards very, very soon with this Zonji or force my opponent to remove the Zonji. Okay, they're going to swing 4 into 4. I have to just let this go because they have another 4K attack they can swing in with Pudding, and that would slow me down too much, at least in my opinion. 1K counter out of that, that's fine. Now it's going to be my turn here. Okay, the leader effect, -3, play out Shashi and Penguin, they gain some Dawn, and they're back to it. Okay, I feel like they messed something up there, like they didn't get the Pudding effect, unless they got it earlier in the turn, I didn't see it. So right here, I swing 6 into 4. I don't think I was able to draw a card from that, was I? Because I think I was only at 7 Dawn. Let me see something. Actually, no, I am on 8 Dawn. Excuse me. So 6 into 4 right here is very nice. I get to draw a card. And that was what was so important about them taking out my Zoro, my Zoro Juro earlier. They really needed to try to take that out if they were able to. I'm going to swing for 5 first. Not swinging for 5 the turn prior actually really hurt me there, in my opinion. Play this card out. I'm going to gain a life. I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? It's like, we're good. Sorry, guys, I don't know if y'all saw this. Like, I had my back scratcher in my hand. You got the old-fashioned back scratcher there. I just like flicked it across the screen. It's like a nervous tick or something. Like when I'm just bored, I'm just like playing with my back scratcher. Okay, so they swing for 5 of me. Sorry guys, they played out the Eustace Kid. They're gonna swing for 5 here. I'm gonna use the effect of my Crocodile to cycle some cards out of hand to draw cards. I end up taking that attack. That's fine, because they still have 2 5K attacks coming, and maybe more than that, depending on what they do here. I'm going to 2K counter out. I'm trying to keep my life as high as I can, and my card count as low as I can. So I don't think he used his leader effect yet, which will be able to Dawn -3. Yep, and he's going to get 2 Dawn from that. One's going to be active. Now I can swing for 5 with Pudding. This is disastrous, guys. This hurts really bad. That's why I was trying to counter as much as I can, because this is a very dangerous position to be in. I'm going to start off by swinging 6 into 4 and make him decide. Swinging 6 into 4 there is a big, big decision my opponent has to make. It's like, do you want to block with your guy? Like, because I'll swing into your blocker too. You know what I mean? Hey, I'll swing right into that blocker. You know what I mean? So 6 into 4, let's see what he chooses. I get to draw a card from that, which is very important, and I draw a card that can gain me life later. Okay, and he's going to end up letting this go, and I'm going to swing 5 into 5. I'm daring him to block. Okay, now I can swing into his blocker. I'm fine with that if he wants to give me all the cards in his hand for that. And then I'm going to bounce this guy to the bottom of his life. He only has 3 attacks this turn, and then I have quite a few things I can do. I have a lot of options here. I'm actually feeling very comfortable because I have the 8-cost Crocodile on the board. I have an O come my way. I have a 0-cost 3K, and I have a 2K counter in hand. So right here, I am going to use the effect to cycle out real quick. I get another 2K counter from that. That effect is so massive for surviving. Now right here, I'm deciding what I want to do. I think trashing the Crocodile with the 0-cost 3K is the best route from here. They only have 4 Dawn left for the turn. Let's see what they do. Swing for 6. I'm literally like wiping sweat from my forehead at that point. Like whew, because they could have swung for 7-7 there, and that would have actually been way. I think that would have been just way better. Okay, they're going to bottom deck that, play out a Kid and Killer, swing for 7, and now I'm going to have to redirect this to one of my other characters with the O come my way. Unfortunate I have to do it like this, but it's like my only chance to survive right now. Now, I will still go up to 9. Check this out. I'm at 9 Dawn. I'm going to be able to gain a life with Yamato and attack a character. This turn will be massive. This turn will be absolutely massive. I clear their entire board, pop his character. I go up to 2 life. I've got 2 2Ks in hand, 2 life. They have nothing on the board and 5 Dawn. So at this point, I've basically, you know, weathered my opponent. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you've got 4 cards in hand, bro. I don't know what you're about to do with them, but it better be something crazy. They play out a Black Moria. That's pretty crazy. Not going to lie. That is pretty crazy. So right here, I go ahead and pop that the Miss All Sunday, and then I swing 6, and it's going to be 8, 9, 9. I'm saying you have to win next turn against me, or it is over. I have 2 life, I will have a cycle, and I have 2 2K counters in hand. Good luck. You know, it is. Hey, the ball's in your court. And I even gave him back the Eustace Kid. I'm like, by all means, play the Eustace Kid next turn. Okay, there's the cycle. I got a 0-cost 3K, feeling really good now. Now I'm daring him to load up. I'm daring him to load up right now. Plays out. So that is actually a play mistake, believe it or not, playing out that that Zoro, because hear me out. He paid 3 to get 5K. He already has a 5K on the board if he attaches 3. In fact, it'll be a 5K exactly. Excuse me. So I would have just loaded up on my what's her name? The Black Moria, if that's what he's trying to do. Okay. So let's see what I guess it's not a play mistake technically, because now I can swing with both, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I go ahead and take that. I'm like, go ahead and play Kid and Killer, bud. Go ahead and play Kid and Killer. We do a little bit of BM here. We counter out for 14 when he only swung for 10. Because he already used his leader effect. He has no Dawn left. There's no way for him to survive. So we do a little bit of BM, I guess, you know, hit him with the 14K counter. I just wanted him to see that this game was not close. that was all I was trying to show here. It's like, hey, man, I know you're trying to make all the right plays, but given the way this game developed, I just want you to see that I was countering out of, like, 4K more. Like, don't... Because, okay, how do I say that? I would have rather it been like that too. If I'm playing, I'm like, dang, I almost had that game. He only won by a 2K counter. It's like, no, dude, this one was not even close. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, good stuff. But hey, that's what the deck is doing. And I'm not saying this is the best opponent. It's nothing like that. But you know, I do think it's actually a relief to the player to see, like, okay, the game wasn't close. You know, I just need to do things differently next time. All right, now check it out. Here's the deck, guys. Here's the deck list. There we go. I'm not going to talk too much about it. Let me read through the list real quick, and then we'll talk about it from there. So the leader effect, of course, is when you return Dawn on your opponent's turn once per turn. When you return Dawn from your field to the Dawn deck through one of your own effects, add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as active. So these two cards go perfectly together. Crocodile goes with Crocodile. You know, they typically do that, right? A character, you know, if a leader and character are the same, you know, character within the anime, they usually go together very well. It costs 9,000 power. Dawn on play, Dawn -2 to gain a life. Now that does not trigger your leader's effect, right? It's the on your opponent's turn that triggers it. So when opponent attacks once per turn, Dawn -1, draw 1 card and trash 1 card from your hand. So you're setting a Dawn as active. You're not actually even going backwards 1 Dawn because your leader, you know, fixes that. You're gaining a life with this when you play it. You're cycling a card when they attack, and now you're getting a Dawn set as active for a card like O Come My Way. It says O Come My Way, but the actual English translation they're using is O Come My Way. The only other card I'm using from Baroque Works currently, this is just the first edition of the deck, guys. This is just the first version of it. The only card I'm using currently is Miss Wednesday. This is a 3-cost, 4K, 1K counter blocker. On opponent's attack, once per turn, Dawn -1, and you're going to add a Dawn. So you're going to Dawn -1, which will come straight back into play from your leader effect, right? Then you're going to add another Dawn with her effect. So this card is a Dawn ramp, defensive Dawn ramp for the rest of the game every time they attack if they don't KO it. So very, very important card here, guys. Very important. Everything else, though, is searchable by this guy. 4-call, remember, we looked at this already. The 4-call, 6K, on-play, top 5 searcher for Straw Hat Crew. He can, other than, we'll talk about Katakuri and Yamato in a second. Hang on one second, sorry, guys. But this Zoro can search up Luffy. It can search up all of our 2K counter package, the Sanji, the Usopp, and the Frankie. It can search up this Zoro. It can search up itself. It can search up this Sanji. It can search up the Gum Gum Jet Gatlings, because it doesn't have to be a character, guys. It could be any purple Straw Hat type card. And then, of course, like I said, the only other cards it cannot snag currently is Yamato and Katakuri. Okay, let me go ahead and bring these cards up while we're waiting. But one thing I will say is this Katakuri, it just has utility. It's not even like it's the best card or anything like that. Let me make sure this is all loaded. Very good. Now I'll go to the yellow ones. And the same thing with Yamato. Now, Yamato actually is pretty much like straight gas in this deck, because when we get down to 1 life, which I mean, I think you guys saw I got down to 1 life like how many times in that game, or over the course of these games we saw. Going down to 1 life and then popping one of their characters and then going up another life is just insane, because what you're doing is you're popping their, like I said, we're not worried about going at their life. We actually want to go at the board, with a few exceptions, like I said, against some of the yellow decks you do have to start going at life. But yeah, the Yamato and Katakuri are just straight gas. They are straight gas. Speaking of which, Portgas the Ace is probably another decent addition to the deck. It's not searchable, but let me say this. Let me say it like this. If you don't have Katakuris, because this card is extremely expensive currently, maybe try Ace. Hey, if you don't have this Ace, and like that's extremely expensive for you as well, maybe try out this Ace. You know what I mean? Just keep going down the list. Try to find something that works. You know, something. Or even just add another Straw Hat Crew card. Because another card you could potentially mess with, guys, I know it might sound a little bit crazy, but this card is not like out of the realm of possibility. We can actually play this card in here and take another turn. Now, we don't have a lot of ways to gain Dawn, but who knows? Maybe we include Black Moria into the list or something like that. There are other options. Let me just say that. This list is not figured out, guys. The list is not done. It is not figured out, okay? You guys tell me what y'all think in the comments section below. I'm going to kind of leave it here. One thing to remember and to consider is, remember, Zoro can't snag yellow Straw Hat cards, only purple. So if we type in Straw Hat and we look at only the yellow cards, there's some really good cards in here that we can add to the list, and we might want to. Like Onami is a very good card. Frankie, this Luffy, and remember, this is OP08.5, guys. So this Nami will be available. This is just a strong Luffy card. Probably not great for what we're doing, but hope you see what I'm saying. There are other really strong cards we can add to this list, but just remember, we can't search them up with this Zoro Juro. One card we might want to include is the purple event. Where is, hang on, let me just go to event. There we go. It is this one. You can do a top 3 search and reveal up to 1 Straw Hat Crew, Kid Pirate, or Heart Pirates type and add it to your hand. This technically can search up all the stuff we were talking about, even the yellow Straw Hat stuff. And at that rate, maybe we can also include you know, something like Eustace Kid. These two Eustace Kids cards. Eustace Kid cards. I should have said it. These are actually very strong, and they could be decent in this deck. And same thing with the heart stuff, the Heart Pirates cards. These right here, like maybe we can add in something, well, maybe not Shashin Penguin, but like this Trafalgar Law, or maybe this Gene Bart. There's some other options there. Okay, well, you tell me, guys, tell me what y'all think about this in the comment section below. I think this deck has a lot of potential, and there's a lot more room to work with. We could go down more of the Baroque work stuff. We could go more of the Straw Hat stuff, move things around, add Ace, because that's a lot of life gain, guys. Crocodile, Katakuri, Yamato, and potentially even Sevenlin. I'm not saying Sevenlin, maybe some Big Mom Pirate stuff. We'll have to see what happens, guys. Could be a lot of fun. We'll have to see how that goes. Again, y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments section below. Let's go ahead and head over to the art critique. This video lasted way longer than I thought it would, but you know, it is what it is, right? We're all having a good time. Okay, last but not least, we got the art critique. What better card to choose than, you know, Gear 5 Luffy from ST18 that we were just looking at? So this card has a lot of spiraling stuff going on. Let's go ahead and grab a green. We'll make it a marker. So we got some circles going on in the back here. And then, like, notice the arms. We got, like, this shape going on. This is a really, really interesting shape, the way he has this, where it helps us, it helps move our eye across the entire screen. You see what I'm saying? It helps push our eye across the piece, right? Because let's just say we start in the middle, right? We see his face here, and then we see, you know, so let me go off here. So let's say we start off with the face here, like we see the face, and then what's the hand doing? Okay, we follow that, it goes down here, and that also, like, instantly moves us over to here. He's got this stuff going on with his legs where he's, like, falling back, or he's in the air floating or something, or maybe he's sitting down, and then the legs are pushed upward. Like, notice the legs, guys, they're, like, angled like this, right? Like, he's sitting where it's angled like this. Well, that kind of brings our eye all the way back to the top here. It shows us like there's an entire framing going on with the way he's postured and with the way his power is, like with this white cloud around his, you know, his Gear 5 form. On top of that, we can look in the background and look at this. We got these traditional style clouds everywhere. You see these clouds back here, guys? These look really nice, and it ties in with who he is, right? He's got them in his hair, right? It's like literally part of his character. This ancient, you know, this Asiatic style of clouds, Japanese style. I don't know if it's Chinese style. I don't know too much about the Asian background when it comes to these clouds. I believe it's just traditional Japanese, but who knows? Other Asiatic cultures might also share this style of clouds. The colors are actually really nice as well. Like, you've got these deep oranges, right? You see, like, the swirls back here. Lots of deep oranges going on back there. And then we have very light whites and purples, like, interacting with the blues right here. Notice this, all the stuff going on here. I'm using a green because it pops better, guys. That's why I'm using a green, just so y'all can see it a little bit better. And those are very complementary in the way that they are, right? We've looked at the color wheel before, right? Where we have red, where's yellow, and what was it, blue, right? There we go. Now with these colors, you've got like purple in the middle, and then with red and yellow, we got like an orange. Let me just use this one. That's not like the correct orange. That's a little bit better. And then over here, yellow and blue, we get the green. And these are kind of like highlighted versions of them, but notice what they're doing with that as well. Let me just, where's white? There it is. So a lot of it is in this purple region where it's like closer to blue. And then the other one is like this orangish region that's like, I don't know, it's actually very much like in the middle here. So notice how they're on the opposite sides of the color wheel, at least to some extent. They probably cross like this as well. So you've got like this side over here for what's going on in the background, or excuse me, more like the foreground, adding the whites. And then in the backgrounds, you got these light blues, like that fringe on purple. Not much green, but more on the purple side of it. And those are kind of in the foreground. And it has a really nice effect, right? It actually they complement each other very much. The style is also very interesting. I don't really talk about style too often because a lot of these are the same comic book anime style, but this one is a very they really fill up the page with what's going on here. And there is one more thing I want to mention as well. When you see that we were looking, okay, I gotta go back to green because I can't even see that. When I was showing you guys these swirls down here, that's actually kind of the entire composition of this entire piece, right? Like the entire piece has this swirling thing going on. Like I said, it keeps your eye moving around the piece because of how interesting it is and the direction of it. Really cool stuff. All right, guys, hope you all enjoyed that. If you guys got any comments, questions, or suggestions, please don't hesitate to put them in the comment section below. Big shout out to everybody who supports this channel, whether you're liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, whatever you're doing to help me out. I really, really appreciate it, guys. Let me go ahead and put up the patrons page and the playmats first. Thank you to everybody who bought a playmat. All the people on the screen here, thank you guys so much. Y'all are helping me out big time, and I hope you're enjoying your playmat. And then, of course, last but not least, the patrons, the VV Pirates patron page. Thank you guys so much. Y'all are really, really helping me. I got to add 2 more names to this list, actually, or one. I think 1 more name to the list. No, yeah, I think I need to add 1 more name to the list. I just remembered that. Forgot all about that. Thank you guys so much, and yeah, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, guys, peace.